I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, one of these videos again where they give me the 5 secrets. Well, these aren't really secrets. These are probably hacks that I've learned over my 20 years of experience putting on muscle. And I'm not somebody who just typed this into Chat GPT and got a script and is telling you guys the script, right? This is actual applicable stuff that you won't find on Google or any other bodybuilding forums, all right? So before we get into the 5 secrets or hacks, the first thing is we're going to call this point 1A, is you need to be in what's known as a calorie surplus. If you're not in a calorie surplus, you ain't going to gain shit. You ain't going to gain any muscle. You're not going to gain anything. So I'm going to give you guys some actionable stuff in this video. So if you're not sure if you are in a surplus, a quick general formula. If you want to be on like a leaner, slower bulk, you're going to do body weight times 16. That'll give you how many calories you need. If you want to do a more moderate approach, you're going to be body weight times 18. And if you want to do more of an extreme weight gain, you're going to do body weight times 2. As long as your calories are in that range, you should be in a calorie surplus, and then you will build muscle. Because all these secrets and hacks mean absolutely nothing if you don't or not in a calorie surplus, bottom line. All right, secret number one, you got to keep a log of your training. Seems like common sense, but after a while, when you've been lifting for a long time, you need to know approximately where you're at on certain lifts. And if you're not keeping a logbook, I don't care if it's a 99-cent journal or an app on your phone, it doesn't even matter what it is. As long as you have a good reference point to where you are in this lifting arena. So an example, if I was going to go in and train chest today, I have a good idea where my flat bench is, where my incline bench is, where my flies are. You want to have an idea of where you are in this. And then you always want to try to keep continuously getting stronger, meaning that if I did 315 for 8 reps, well, then I need to do 315 for at least 9 or 10 at some point with better form and things like that. You want to make sure you're progressing. What gets tracked gets measured, right? What gets measured, you get success with. So that means that if you're not keeping track of this shit, how do you know? Yeah, you could go into the gym with your buddies and have an amazing chest day, but that doesn't mean you progressed. A hard workout and a progressive one are 2 very different things. You want to have more productive workouts strung together versus just hard workouts, okay? So you need to keep a logbook. You have to, all right? Secret number 2, should you train to failure or not? There's so much crap going around on YouTube and online about training to failure. Do train to failure, don't train to failure. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. As long as you're continuously beating your logbook, you're making progress. But should you be training to failure? I think you should be training closer to failure because you need to be able to push yourself in order to give your body the stimulus it needs to change. If you're not pushing yourself, you're not going to see changes. So I would say train to failure or as close as you can to it when reasonably done, meaning that you want to be safe and smart about it. Obviously, you don't want to, go into a heavy bench press without a spotter or without catches set up because that wouldn't be smart. But you want to train as close as you can to failure because when you get to that point of failure and you push yourself to that point, at least you can say, hey, I stimulated all the muscle that I could during that set. And it's a good barometer for people to know, hey, I trained hard or I didn't train hard. Because I think a lot of people nowadays, they scroll too much on TikTok and they forget how to actually train. And they don't actually even know what hard training is. So I think you need to be pushing yourself closer to that failure point. So at least you can kind of ensure that you're building muscle. And again, if you push yourself too close to that failure mark and you can't recover, then just scale back some of the sets. At least you'll know you'll be making progress. All right. Number 3, again, this hack goes a long way, especially in a muscle building phase. Intra-workout carbs. When you're high in a calorie surplus and you're deep into a bulk, it gets very, very hard to eat the calories. It's almost like a job. Sometimes when I'm in a very, very deep surplus, I need a lot of calories to push the scale. It'll take me a long time to sit down and eat my actual meal, which sucks. So you got to try to get the calories in as easy as possible. Intra-workout carbs go a long way in doing that. One, it's an easy way to get carbohydrates in throughout the day without actually feeling them. And 2, it actually does help you have the energy to push through for the rest of your workout. Most guys, again, don't train hard enough to actually warrant having intra-workout carbs. But when you train hard and about that halfway point in your workout have intra-workout carbs, you will get a boost of energy and be able to crush the rest of your workout. Because you've ever noticed when you work out, you kind of like toward the middle, close to the end of your workout, you get like just tired. You're like, I don't want to be here. Or worse, maybe you're hungry toward the end of the workout. Bad move. So intra-workout carbohydrates really, really help with that and help push you through for the end of your workout so you can finish your workout strong. Okay? Number 4, these are real secrets, guys. Heavy whipping cream, olive oil, and almonds. These 3 things are your friend when you're in a calorie surplus or deep into a bulk. Why are they your friend? They're very, very calorie dense. It's very easy to eat them. They don't take up a lot of room in your stomach, and it will make hitting your calories that much easier. Heavy whipping cream was actually a secret from the Vince Gironda era of bodybuilding. They used to put that stuff in their shakes all the time. It's very calorie dense. I think off the top of my head, 15 milliliters of it, which isn't much, around 5 grams of fat, 1 carb, 1 protein. So again, it's just an easy way to get those calories in. You throw in a couple of milliliters of that into your shake, or just drink it straight up. You could do that too. Again, pouring olive oil on your meals really goes a long way with that too. And then obviously having almonds throughout the day. A handful of almonds is easily 20 grams of fat, which is really easy to put down those good forms of fat. And again, help you to be in more of that surplus and help you to build more muscle. Because again, if you're not eating enough calories, you're not going to get there. So those are some real hacks. And I've done some nasty things. I put like olive oil in my protein shake. It wasn't fun. It's not that good. But again, it just helps me get those calories in, right? And the 5th one, you got to make your sets harder, okay? So what does that mean? I'm not talking about intensity here. I'm not talking about training to failure here. I'm talking about putting more tension on the targeted muscle you're training. So how do you make your set harder? Right? How do you make this set that I'm about to approach, how do I make it harder? Well, you make it harder by doing things like slowing down. So slowing down the rate of the movement, squeezing more, doing more of like a peak contraction. So if I'm doing a bicep curl, I'm coming up on top and I'm really going to hold it and squeeze. And then I'm going to take a slower negative on the way down. The reason why you want to make your sets harder is you never really want to rush the weight on the bar. I know it kind of goes against what I said earlier with like beating the logbook, but you never want to like rush the weight on the bar. In the beginning, when I first started lifting, I was really, really focused on getting stronger, right? Because if I realized if I got stronger, I would get bigger. But that's not necessarily the case, because when you're trying to beat the logbook in that sense, like, okay, I'm trying to put more weight on the bar, your form, not that it goes to shit, but it kind of like takes a backseat. And you maybe like in the bench press, for example, maybe you just bounce it a little bit more off your chest to try to get that extra, 5 pounds up. But instead, you want to take your time putting that weight on by making it harder and putting more tension on those muscles. So maybe you have a day in your training where you just train heavy, right? And you focus on like the bigger compound movements and you just move the weight from point A to point B. And then maybe you have another day in your week where it's more bodybuilding type focused and you spend more time, creating more tension in the muscle, slowing down the lifts, peak contractions, and really feeling that targeted muscle work. I promise, guys, if you put these 5 secrets together, it's going to unlock a whole new level of growth for you. And because you made it this far into the video, I have a free gift for you. I have a free 6-week training program that I want to give you, no strings attached. All you got to do is click that link below and download that free 6-week program. Only because I want to help you not make the mistakes that I did when I was young. This was Anthony, AB Fitness. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.